Hey, what's up, guys? So guess whose birthday it is today? That guy. Charlie turned 6 today. So we had a good little day. He went swimming and got some treats and all that good happy stuff. I've been meaning to make this video for quite a while, basically about living in a van with a dog. So I figured, why not? It's his birthday today, so I'm gonna go ahead and try and see if I can get everything done and uploaded and on YouTube today. I'm not sure if it's gonna make it or not, but I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna go and list, 10 things or 20 things or whatever to tell other people what they should have, you know, to live in a van with a dog. I'm not gonna do that. I mean, but for me, obviously, make sure you have water. Number one, ventilation. Um, when I built the van, there was two things that I did pretty early on, right off the bat, that I knew I was going to have when I started actually living in the van. And that was my AC unit and shore power. That way, no matter where I was, I could always have my AC hooked up, plugged into shore power. If it was cold outside, I could always plug in a heater um, or whatever. And it was mainly for him. You can go back and check out my other videos as far as that's concerned. Little things, towels, extra towels. As you can see, right now the van's a mess because I'm getting ready to go out of town tomorrow. But extra towels, wiping your feet off, wiping him off, wiping your dog off, especially when it's raining outside or snowing outside or whatever, depending on where you're living, stuff like that. Have a towel to clean the dog off. One thing I do not have, but I am going to suggest this, and I am going to buy one here very, very shortly, an umbrella. As dumb as it sounds, having a dog, you need an umbrella, because me, I can pee in a jug. Him, he's got to go outside. Any little bit of help to stay dry is the best thing that you can possibly have. So, extra blankets, because him coming in and out of the van, um, you know, in between baths and stuff like that. I mean, he starts to smell, and he gets into stuff. He rolls around. He went swimming today. I didn't give him a bath after he went swimming, so I know he's going to smell. Um, but extra blankets, so that way he has something to lay on, or you can change your blankets if your main blanket starts getting kind of funky. You have another blanket that's fresh and clean, and you just replace it. A lint brush, to get hair off your clothes or your jackets or your hoodies or whatever, if you care. That's another thing. Having a dog in a van, there's just, it's awesome for me. I wouldn't want it any other way. This little guy right here has helped me out a lot. He keeps me busy. He keeps me going. Recently, I lost my mom, and I was really depressed. And none of you guys would have known it because I was still putting videos up. He's pulled me through a lot because I have to take care of him. And if I had my way, you know, things would have been, I probably wouldn't have left this van for a while, but because I had him, I had to take him out and take him for walks, bring him to the park, bring him to the beach, bring him, to different places and stuff like that. So it really worked out really well. Um, he's helped me out tremendously. Like I said, I'm not going to tell you what you need. I'm not going to tell people what they should have. But know that living with a dog in a van is sometimes it's difficult, because sometimes you want to go and you want to do certain things and stuff like that, and you can't. Depending on your surroundings, depending on your situation, depending on what temperature it is, um, and sometimes you have to just bite the bullet and you have to stay with him, or you have to do things with him instead of going to do things that you want to do. There's a lot of time, obviously, that you spend with your dog. And van life is no different. Van life is actually more. You know, I've had this conversation with other people. They're like, oh, but what about Charlie? What about Charlie? What about Charlie? I'm like, dude, you go to work every day, don't you? You leave your dog at home, don't you? So you're gone for 8 hours. Your drive time's what, half hour, 45 minutes every day to work, and the same on the way home, you know? So you're gone 10 hours a day. If you got to stop at the grocery store, you know, and get groceries or dinner or whatever, you know, so what's the difference? And had an argument, or not an argument, but somebody had posted something on one of the Facebook forums, you know, van life type forums or whatever, and someone said something about how many of you people live in a van with an animal, you know, or whatever, and everybody started chiming in and stuff like that, and of course, you know, I chimed in, got a dog, you know, and they were like, well, how do you guys do that? How do you live in a van with a dog? What if it's too hot? How do you keep the dog cool? How do you do this? How do you do that? And of course, people were chiming in with their stories and this and this and that. And of course, I chimed in, and I told them I have an AC unit, I have shore power, you know, I have a generator for if I can't plug in the shore power. Um, and at some point in time, people were chiming in saying that that's cruel. You shouldn't have a dog, you know, this, that, whatever. And I'm like, wow, wow. Um, But this is coming from an actual van life type forum where people supposedly live in vans full time. And that's another thing, man. There's so many fake people out there that say they live in a van full time and they don't. I live in this van 24/7. This is my house. You know, some people park their van in their driveway, you know, and don't actually live in their van. But anyway, whatever. Yeah. So, you know, I built this van with the first thought of him. No bullshit. That's why I put the AC unit in. That's why I put shore power in day one. I moved into this van in November last year, and I made sure that that AC unit was in my wall, even though it was November. I was getting ready to go into the winter, and I wanted to make sure that that was in there. I also live in Virginia, and and then I went down to North Carolina. Um, I used the AC in November, believe it or not. Living in a van with a dog. You know, it has challenges, you know, just like anything else. But I'm going to tell you what, I would rather have a dog than another human being living in a van with me. Absolutely 100%. You know, yes, do I miss companionship? Do I miss somebody to actually enjoy the things that I've been doing? You know, go out and enjoy things with people, you know, and stuff like that. Absolutely. But I would rather have him because it's one less mouth to feed. It's one less of a mess, one less of bathroom breaks, or you know what I mean, or just so many different things. I would rather have a dog living with me than a human. That's you know, this little guy right here is my best friend. He honestly is. He has been through a lot with me. We have been through the cold, the hot, you know, the rain, the snow, breakdowns, um, no water, no electricity at one point, you know, so many different things. You know, a hurricane, the fan didn't work at one point in time, the other air conditioner crapped out at one point in time. Um, so many different things, man, you know. But we're adjusting, we're learning, man, and it's awesome. You know, it's really really awesome. We've been living in this van for a year, and he loves it. It's you know, he knows this is home, and you know, he knows he's got time in the front seat, you know, for certain things, and then when we come back here, he knows this is home, you know, and it's awesome. It's really cool. But have a pet, man, because being in this lifestyle, you're alone a lot. That's a whole nother video, but you're alone a lot. Um, So have a pet. Definitely get a pet. But yeah, living in a van with an animal, with a dog, that's one thing that I definitely recommend if you're going to do this lifestyle. As far as what do you need when you live with a dog in a van? Just use common sense. Honestly, make sure you have enough room. People ask me that all the time. They're like, well, isn't he cramped up in there? Oh, he's been in there for X amount of hours, or he's been in there for this amount of time. He's fine. Trust me. There's dogs that stay in crates for 10 hours a day in a big giant house at home. Trust me. He's got plenty of room to be in this van while I'm at work or while I'm doing something or whatever. Plenty of room. But make sure you have room. If your dogs are crated kind of dogs, that's fine too. If they're used to that kind of thing, while you guys are out doing your own thing, and you have them crated in a van or in a bus or whatever it is that you live in, there's nothing wrong with that. People do it all the time. People do it all the time in an 8-bedroom house. They have their dog in a crate, you know? So if that's what the dog's used to, it's no big deal. Charlie's been in a crate here and there every once in a while. When we lived in a house before, he's not used to being in a crate. So I wouldn't, to me, it would be really, really confusing to him to put him in a crate in the van. It would be really confusing. But I mean, make sure you have enough room for your dog. Make sure you have enough room for your animal. Simple things, like I said before, a lint brush if you don't want hair all over you, a dog brush, to brush the dog outside so you get a lot of the loose hair off of him before he gets in the van. Charlie has this habit of he wants to shake after he's in the van, or he'll get up before we go outside. He wants to shake, and I'm like, no, why don't you wait and do that outside? Different kinds of bowls. Try different kinds of bowls. I've spilled his water bowl several times in here. Several times, because I'll leave the water in it and I'll go drive somewhere. And next thing I know, I open the side doors. There's the bowls that have slid across the floor onto the side doors and spilled all over the place. It's really not that difficult. You learn as you're in the van. You learn some things are going to work for a little while, and then you're going to be like, it's not working anymore. Other things I want to do for him too. I want to build some kind of a doggy bowl type situation. Arrange something in the front seat that it's a little bit easier for him to get comfortable. I want to build something in the front seat for him, a little bit more room for him, so he has a little bit more room to lay down, and it's a little bit more comfortable. That's something I want to build, down the road. I do have my refrigerator between the two seats, so he's got something to lay his head on, and stuff like that. So, but I would like to make that a little bit more comfortable as well. I would like to honestly make some kind of a food and water bowl holder up in the front seat, so he always has that up there. If your dog likes toys, have toys with him. Me and Charlie go for a lot of walks, so get a good leash, something that's got a long lead on it, so he can actually walk. Know your dog, know when he has to go to the bathroom. Charlie is he's an awesome dog for this kind of life. He's really, really adapted really, really well. We saved him when we first got him. I mean, he had a rough little life before we got him, and he didn't know what to do when he came back to the house. He didn't know, how to eat out of a dog bowl. He didn't know how to play with toys. He didn't, he was just very, very timid and very shy and very, very sketched out, and stuff like that. And it took him a while to open up, and then we adopted another dog to help him open up a little bit. And they lived together for a while, and then she passed away. And so then after that, it was just him. And so then we started this van life situation. And so then it was a whole nother change in his life that I mean, I think he's done really well. I mean, he gets so excited. He gets so excited now. You know, he knows we're going somewhere. He knows we're going somewhere different. We're going somewhere different. We're going somewhere different all the time. And, you know, somebody, you know, I've had so many different conversations with so many people, and they ask me all the time about Charlie and about this and about that. And, you know, some people say it's cruel, and some people say it's mean, and some people say, you know, oh, I'm worried about Charlie. I'm worried about Charlie. And I'm like, Charlie's the last thing you need to worry about. I said, I guarantee you, my dog gets more exercise than your dog does, or that dog does, or that dog does. You know, Charlie and I walk a lot, you know, um, versus somebody that has a house and they let their dog out in the backyard, and the dog goes and does his business, and then he comes back, you know, and not criticizing anybody, but the majority of people that have dogs that live in backyards with fenced in backyards, 9 times out of 10, they don't take their dog for walks on a regular basis, on an everyday basis. They don't. It's just a fact. Because they have the backyard. It's just like giving a 5-year-old or a 3-year-old a friggin' tablet to babysit. It's the same thing. Giving them a backyard to run around in or play in or go to the bathroom in. I don't have to take them for a walk. Well, yeah, you do. You really should. But I mean, shit. There's been days that me and Charlie have walked over 20 miles, you know, in a day and stuff like that. So, but yeah, he gets a lot of exercise, and a lot of people, you know, at the beginning were very worried about him, you know, and then, you know, of course, as people have been learning about what I've been doing, of course, they get, you know, concerned too. Oh, he's staying in the van. Is he going to be okay? And, you know, and this and this and that. Yeah, he's going to be fine. You know, um, the van forum thing that I was on that I was talking about earlier, um, you know, they were talking about work. You know, what do you do with your dogs, you know, when you go to work? What do you do with your dogs when you go to work? You know, and some people have a different kind of work schedule than others, and some people have different kind of work, you know, that they do. Um, and some of these people on these forums were just criticizing all these people right off the bat without even giving them a chance to even explain anything. You know, the question would be, what do you do with your dog when you go to work? Do you take your dog with you? You know, whatever. And some people would say yes, some people would say no, you know, this and this and that. And of course, all the people were like, oh, you need to put them in doggy daycare. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do this. You need to do that. And I'm like, me personally, I chime in and I'm like, yeah, I take my dog with me to go to work. And I work 2 different types of jobs. And I leave my dog in the van 90% of the time while I'm working, depending on what I'm doing and where I'm at. And that, of course, right off the bat starts ting, 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 ting. All these people start saying all kinds of stuff. And but at the golf course where I work my part-time day job, I have shore power. I plug in. I have AC if it's cold, heat if it's warm. During the day, while I'm at work, physically working, I can come back to my van at any point in time, you know, and I do. Number one. Number two, there's other people that are around all the time that can check on him. That's one of the jobs that I have. Oh crap, it's starting to rain. Um, my other job is I paint houses. So with that being said, when I'm painting a house, either A, he's in the van, or B, he's in the house that I'm painting, depending on where I'm at or what I'm doing. So if I go to a house that I'm painting, I can plug in the shore power. The dog can be fine. The dog is absolutely 100% fine. And guess what? I'm right inside the house from where he's sleeping or where he's laying down or where he's relaxing or getting air conditioning or heat or whatever the case may be. I'm 10 steps away from him. I go out to my van all the time. I got to get this. I got to get this. I forgot that, you know, or whatever. So I'm always back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. But I mean, I've had some nasty comments, some nasty things being, you know, was said at some point in time. And I'm just like, wow, these people are unbelievable, you know. But living in a van with a dog, I'd say do it. And as far as what you need, you know, use common sense, you know. And the things that you might grab at the beginning, you might never use. And then there's things that once you've been living in a van for a while, you're like, oh my God, I really need this. Like I said, an umbrella. It's starting to rain right now. It's starting to rain right now. He's probably going to need to go out soon, and it's raining. You know, not only, you know, I mean, his fur, you know, and stuff like that gets wet, but his feet, you know, he's got hairy feet. Some, you know, like he gets, you know, so then that's why I have the towel on the outside right there, or on the inside, but at the bottom right there. So pretty much like when he jumps in the van, he knows I grab his lead and I stop him for a second, and he knows to sit, and he'll sit down, and then I'll wipe his feet off, you know, before he gets up on the bed. Sometimes he gets on the bed anyway and he's got wet feet. But you know what? I don't even care about that. I really don't. I really don't care. I mean, I remember one night, I was laying down, falling asleep. I was just dead tired. And Charlie started whining because he was thirsty. So I grabbed his bowl of water that was on the ground, and I'm laying on the bed, and I'm holding the bowl up here on the bed. I wake up at, I don't know what time it was, and the bed was soaking wet. I fell asleep with the water bowl there. Well, he didn't drink all the water out of the bowl. At some point in time, it spilled in the middle of the night and got the bed all wet. You know, some people would be so pissed off about that. You know what? I have learned in my life right now, there is nothing that's going to piss me off like that. You know, something like that, spilling some water. I've left my vent open before in a huge thunderstorm. You know, my bed was soaking wet. You know, it is what it is, dude. You take all the fucking shit off. You dry it off as best you can. You know, you air it out as best you can, and you just move on. It's not that big of a deal. But anyway, it's Charlie's birthday, and it was so cool because we went to one of our favorite parks that we go to, and here in Virginia Beach, and I was walking him, and a lady and I guess her mom walked up with, you know, the lady's two daughters, and they were like, oh, can we pet him? Can we pet him? Can we pet him? I'm like, yeah. And they were like, oh, he's so soft. He's so soft. And I was like, yeah. He said, he's such a good boy, you know, and this and this and that. I was like, he is. He's so cute. And guess what? And they were like, what? And I was like, it's his birthday. And they were like, it's his birthday? And I was like, yeah. They were like, how old is he? I said, he's 6 years old. And they were like, oh, he's 6. And then the mom said, oh, you know, he's a year younger or a year older than she was. I can't remember. And so I was like, do you want to sing happy birthday? So you know how cool this was? The mom, the grandmother, and the two kids sang happy birthday to my dog in the middle of the park. It's pretty cool. I really appreciate you guys watching the video. It's been a whole month since I recorded the beginning of this video. Like I said, I went out of town. I was working in North Carolina, and I was visiting my dad. So, yeah, I'm a little behind. I'm a little behind on videos, but bear with me. I've got a lot more videos coming. I've got some upgrades, my winter upgrade, some changes to the van, and some different types of videos that I'm going to be posting on this channel. Some things, you know, like things that I like to do as far as, you know, passion, hobbies, you know, stuff like that. So I'm just going to post them on this channel. I'm just going to have a separate like folder or whatever. But yeah, bear with me, man. More videos are coming, and I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate the new subscribers. It's awesome. I'm in the process right now, believe it or not, of letting my friends and family know about this channel. I've had this channel for over a year, and there was only a few people that knew about it. But I'm getting ready to let the majority of my family and friends on my Facebook page know about this channel, so it's going to be interesting. They're going to start I'm going to start getting a lot of phone calls and text messages and jokes and all that fun stuff. So, but it's going to be cool because I want to share, you know, everything that I'm doing, man. And I've got some plans for some trips coming up. I would like to start doing more videos on a vlog, blog, whatever you want to call it, weekly basis kind of thing, especially when I'm traveling. You know, so, you know, stay tuned, man. I appreciate it. Subscribe if you haven't. Y'all have a good day. Drive safe.